Hello everyone, this is Pink Giraffe, and today I wanted to discuss the future of Temtem. As you may know, Temtem will launch its 1.0 full release update on September 6th. This includes the ports to Xbox Series S and Series X and the Nintendo Switch consoles, with crossplay and cross-save enabled with the existing PS5 and Steam platforms. I have been seeing many players asking whether Temtem will be receiving further support after the release. The short answer is yes. Stick around on this video to learn what planned updates are coming. First, let's talk about what is coming on the full release update. One of the changes for newer players is the reduction of around 20% of the forced NPC battles. Consequently, the experience gain has been restructured, making the game less grindy. Players who engage in co-op will also have an additional experience gain to compensate that they are only using one of their Tems in the double battle. Along with the new Learning 8 Plus item on the endgame island, the experience grind should be much improved. The endgame island, called Tamers Paradise, will introduce 6 new endgame PvE activities such as the Ever-Shifting Tower, which will be a roguelike arena. I recommend you watch the 1.0 trailer, which I will link in the description below. Moreover, Temtem will launch its paid currency Novas, which can be used to purchase in-game cosmetics as well as the Tamer Pass. The Tamer Pass will only include cosmetic rewards such as clothes, sprays, and mounts. There will be no in-game advantage, as Grandma are completely against pay-to-win methods. Each Tamer Pass will last 3 months and will include enough Novas to purchase consequent passes. Now, onto the post-game support. Grandma do have multiple updates planned for after launch, so let's get into it. Let's start with Showdown. Those of you familiar with Pokemon may know that PvP players tend to play competitive battles through Pokemon Showdown, in which you can create your team outside of the game and require no training, breeding, or leveling. Temtem will have a similar showdown integrated within the game. This means you can choose Tems that you have not trained or leveled, select their stats, movesets, gears, and join the ranked ladder along with both players who are using showdown teams as well as their own trained teams. This feature will encourage players to test out new teams without investing hours into the breeding, leveling, and training of their Tems. Showdown is planned to be in the launch window, although we do not necessarily know how long this will be after the 1.0 release. Grandma have also previously stated plans for an improved spectator version, as well as interest and research in creating esports tournaments, although these would have a long way to go. In one of the updates post 1.0, Temtem is due to release its final 165th Tem, the third Mythical. Similar to the other two Mythical Temtem, Tyrannac and Volgon, the third Mythical would have its own lair through which Tamers will have to battle through in a group of between 3 to 5 players. The last we have heard is that the final Tem has not yet been designed, so do not expect the Mythical to be close to the full release update, perhaps even well into next year. One of the Kickstarter goals was the Nuzlocke Mode, which was successfully funded. Last year, there was a feedback thread opened by Grandma to take input on what teammates are expecting on Nuzlocke. Yaw, the lead developer, said he read all the suggestions and had taken aboard some of the ideas, whilst others were too ambitious. We have not heard any more information in the past year. We do know that the Nuzlocke will be a separate save file, therefore you do not need to reset your main account to play it. Interestingly, Grandma showed the intention to allow players to challenge each other, with the Nuzlocke rules still applying. So, if you want to challenge your friends using Nuzlocke, be ready to say goodbye to your Tems. Another Kickstarter goal was the arcade bar. Again, we do not have a lot of information on this feature, but as you may assume from the name, it would be a place where you can play multiple minigames to earn tickets as a reward. The arcade bar would then have its own reward shop where you can trade the tickets for cosmetics or furniture. Do note that this idea from the Kickstarter was discussed in 2018, and hence, it is quite likely that the intended reward system might have changed in its design. As of a recent message on Discord, It's very unlikely that any of the minigames will have a featured co-op method. So that's all we know about the arcade bar so far. The game will also receive what I'd like to call quality of life changes. At the start of the game, players can customize their character, such as choosing their body type, face, skin, and eye color, their pose, as well as their tamer name. Currently, players can only change their pronoun in one of the buildings in Neo Edo to either she, her, he, him, or they, them. The other identifying features, such as tamer name and body type, cannot be changed. Future updates, including new buildings such as the beauty salon, will allow players to change these. I can only imagine that post-game support will include even further updates that are not yet mentioned. I wanted to end this video by talking about Dark Lumas, or rather, Umbras. Let's first talk about the standard Lumas, which as of 1.0 will have a base rate of 1 in 7500, and these are equivalent to the shiny variants of in other games. Although these odds may seem very low, with the double battle system of Temtem as well as several Luma boosting methods such as Psypark and radar chaining, Lumas are rather accessible. If you have seen some of my other videos, you may notice that I have around 60 Lumas, of which 5 have perfect stats and feature in my PvP teams semi-regularly. So, what about Umbra Tems? Well, community member and Discord mod Zos has aggregated a board of all the messages pertaining to Umbras. Some messages do contradict one another, most likely because of change in design or intention along the past few months, and many tamers still refuse to believe that Dark Lumas are more than just a meme. Here are the known facts. Umbras will not be introduced in 1.0. Their base odds will be 1 in 75,000, 10 times harder than current Lumas. You may be able to sacrifice a Luma Tam to gain an Umbra radar. Umbra Temtem can only be found in natural habitat and not in Psypark. And Umbra odds are not affected by normal radars. With those details in mind, many tamers, including myself, are excited for the introduction of Umbra Temtem, which I personally think are very real. I am truly excited for the launch and the future of Temtem, and I hope it becomes an everlasting franchise. Having already played over 5,000 hours of Temtem during early access, I can truly recommend the game. There's no RNG in combat, it has accessible Luma hunting, and the upcoming PvE endgame island activities seem to be exciting and repeatable. Temtem is literally all I have ever wanted from the monster catching genre, and Krama have shown their ability to listen to the player's needs and introduce new features that were not planned. Do share in the comments below what you are most excited about for Temtem. I will see you around the Airborne Archipelago.